Hello guys and welcome back to A Page in the Chapter. My name is Paige and it is time for yet another book haul. I just have no self-control when it comes to books lately. Like, it has been a real problem. There are just so many good books coming out and I'm enjoying reading so much that it has just seemed like a perfect opportunity to buy a lot of books, and I also keep coming up with video ideas, and so I'm kind of buying books for those. And there's just been a lot of reasons why I have been purchasing books lately. So I have another 11 books to show you. It doesn't feel like it's been that long since I've done a book haul. I do try to keep it to a minimum. There is so much excess on BookTube, and I know to a lot of people, especially given like the cost of living crisis and things right now, it's not necessarily appropriate to be demonstrating that you are spending such huge amounts on books right now. But also to a lot of people it is a little bit of an escape. It is a fun way to see what people are reading, see what new books are coming out. So I do hope that you find something that you want to read in these books, and understand that I try not to do this too often because I don't want to add to the whole here is 100+ books that I bought in the past month kind of narrative that sometimes goes on BookTube, because I don't think it's fair. Here is 11 books that I have bought since my last book haul. So if you guys like book hauls and you just like seeing people's thoughts on books, then do please feel free to hit that big red subscribe button down below to stay tuned for future content. I upload twice a week on a Wednesday and a Friday, so there is no shortage of bookish content here for you to enjoy. You guys can also check me out on Instagram and Twitter at Page in Chapter to see what I'm reading and how I'm reviewing it in real time, because isn't that just more fun than waiting for videos to come out? But also do please still watch my videos. So yeah, here is a book haul with absolutely no link or thread or rhyme or reason. It is just a lot of books that I have been interested in lately. And let's get into the books. So the first book we have is To Marry and to Meddle by Martha Waters. This is a marriage of convenience historical romance. I got it on Amazon. So this follows our main characters, Lady Emily Turner and Lord Julian Belfry, and they both require something of each other. Emily's only marriage prospect is an odious man who she does not want to marry, and she wants to kind of escape the legacy of her father, whereas Julian needs to bring some respect to himself and his business. And so by marrying each other they can both have a suitable outcome, and I mean, they're gonna fall in love, but we're all okay with that. Marriage of convenience is just one of my favourite tropes. Marriage of convenience and fake dating are just under one big umbrella to me, and it is my favourite thing in the entire world. So I'm very excited to get into this. I do love a historical romance every now and again, and this one seems very fun and lighthearted. I then picked up King of Battle and Blood by Scarlett St. Clair. I have read the Hades and Persephone series by Scarlett St. Clair. I have very mixed feelings on it, but I adored the first book, A Touch of Darkness. I got so swept up in the romance. As a fantasy, it was kind of weak, but I enjoyed my time reading it so much and felt so like into the story that I could really forgive that. It's not the best book in the world. It is like a guilty pleasure read for me. So when I saw that this was an enemies to lovers vampire story, I had to pick it up. Maybe Scarlett St. Clair's writing will kind of come into its own a little bit more, and honestly I miss vampires, and I miss like vampire romances, kind of like Twilight. As much as I love like high fantasy and things like that, I do kind of miss when it was just a little bit cheesy. Like, not even like when it was cheesy like vampire romances that you found on Wattpad and it had its own like category. I'm really hoping this will be it for me. I'm gonna move my camera because I've just realised it is not centered with my bookcase at all. Is this better? I think this is better. Just so you guys can see the books, because that's like why we're all here. And then in that same shopping trip I also picked up A Brush with Love by Maisie Eddings. This is apparently as seen on TikTok, but I have never seen this on TikTok. But it's quoted by Rachel Lynn Solomon, who is the author of Weather Girl. I've recently read and loved. But I mostly just wanted another kind of cheesy rom-com on hand. I am in a fantasy mood and I am very much enjoying fantasy lately, but we never know when that's going to change. And we also never know when I might just need a fast little fun read to boost my Goodreads goal to get me back into loving reading. And this follows dentistry students, so kind of a fun back to school kind of read, as I'm going back to uni at the end of September, start of October period. I thought maybe reading about some more students would be motivational. Ali Hazelwood's books aren't always the most motivational for me. I'll get into that when I discuss Love on the Brain. And what I'm also kind of interested in this book for is that it is friends to lovers. Our male love interest Dan is very much interested in our main character Harper, but she doesn't really want to do anything, so they have a just friends arrangement. I'm very interested to see if it is just a friends to lovers trope that I dislike, or maybe it's just the way that sometimes authors handle it. So yeah, I just wanted another good cheesy rom-com, and this seemed like a good addition. I haven't really seen much about it, but it had its own display in Waterstones. I just wanted like a whole like kind of romance section with these kind of books, but when I went into Waterstones Piccadilly, the romance section did not have these types of books in it, so I don't know where I was supposed to look to find them. But I found this one, so I'm happy. And then, since I mentioned it, let's just discuss Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood. So, I loved The Love Hypothesis. Again, it was fake dating, it was academic setting, it did have some issues, but I enjoyed it quite a bit. I bought this because I loved The Love Hypothesis, and I always love reading academic settings, and whilst they're getting more popular, they're not huge, and I really just wanted another one. I gave this a meager 2 stars, and I have since only really seen very meh reviews of this book. I think it is kind of the disappointment of the book world right now, and I feel very sorry for Ali Hazelwood in that sense, but also this book was a major cash grab. That's all it was. It was not fleshed out. It was a series of tropes that Ali Hazelwood has said in an interview she didn't come up with, her agent gave her, and then she fleshed them out with Marie Curie quotes and sexism, and that's all this book is. I know that sexism is a huge issue in the STEM world, but anytime I read Ali Hazelwood's books as someone who is going into forensic science and STEM and wants to stay in academia and do a PhD, I leave her books feeling like I cannot do it. I don't like the way she presents academia and STEM for women. I just constantly feel like I shouldn't do it. It feels very demotivating. This was not it. This was just one big fat cash grab, and I will just save your money. I then also ordered Magnolia Parks. If you guys have seen my most recent vlog, I bought and read this book because I saw someone on BookTube describe it as Red Taylor's version, and thus I had to know what the hype was about. This is another kind of friends to lovers book, but this one actually worked for me. I will link that video up in the iCards if you would like to go and watch that vlog, because my very in-depth thoughts and reviews on this book are over in that video. But this is essentially a book that explores the different types of emotions you can feel whilst being in love with somebody in a Gossip Girl type of setting. So we have Magnolia and BJ, who are a very off and on couple. They are part of New York high society. It is Gossip Girl meets Taylor Swift. I did pick up this book very recently. And then the most recent book that I picked up, because we're just not going in any order here, I literally bought a couple days ago because I went to the British Museum and they have like a little bookstore kind of gift shoppy bit inside the British Museum. So I picked up the Penguin Book of Myths and Legends of Ancient Egypt. God, that is a mouthful. So I have this edition for the myths of Greece and Rome, and when I saw that they had this one, I thought, yeah, let's just add to the collection. The spines look the same. I have been wanting to learn about Egyptian mythology for a very long time. Like, I've been really wanting to read Rick Riordan's series, like, following Egyptian mythology, and I just really want to. I really want to know about Egyptian mythology because I love mythology. I know so much about pretty much every other mythology, and this one is so lost on me. So lost. When I saw that they had the edition that I already collect, it was a very easy buy. We have quite the vibe change now from a non-fiction, but I have Under a Dancing Star by Laura Wood, which is just the most stunning book. I don't think you can even tell how shiny and glittery and stunning it is. But Laura Wood is the author of A Sky Painted Gold, another book that I have absolutely loved. And this is a slightly more summery one, so I may have missed the opportunity to properly enjoy this book now. Laura Wood writes cozy very, very well, so I'm still excited to hopefully get to this book in September. It is on my September TBR. And so this follows our main character, Bea, or B, I'm not entirely sure how it's pronounced. And she lives in 1930s England, and it follows her summer in Italy as she falls in love in Italy and deals with all sorts of growing pains, which is what Laura Wood kind of specialises in. I highly, highly recommend Laura Wood. She also has another very, very wintry book that I will be picking up towards the end of the year, so stay tuned for that. I have spoken a little bit about picking up XOXO by XOXO. This is a YA contemporary romance set in Korea, following our main character as she falls in love with a K-pop singer. It feels very fanfiction-esque and I am so here for it. Not to mention this cover is absolutely stunning. I am obsessed with it. It just looks like it should be a graphic novel. It's also got quite big writing and thick pages, and it's kind of small anyway, so this should just be a nice, chill, easy, breezy read for me. I'm very, very excited to get to this book, and do let me know your thoughts on it down in the comment section because I'm interested to know. I should also point out that I am not interested in K-pop in the least. I do not like that kind of music, so any review that I give this book will be from a non-K-pop fan standpoint. Whether you like that or think you can take that review honestly or take that review with a pinch of salt is entirely up to you. And so with this next book, I'm taking quite the risk and I'm giving in to the hype, and I'm really, really hoping that you guys aren't lying to me again. I picked up The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon, and I hated Priory of the Orange Tree. It was the worst book. Not that Ugly Love is the worst book I've ever read, but Priory of the Orange Tree was just not it for me. I was so bored, and I forced myself to read all like 800 pages of it, thinking that it would get better or there would be like something about it that made you guys obsessed with it that I was just gonna find, and I never found it, and I read the whole fucking thing, and it's a Bible, and I hated it. I hated it. Everybody raves about this series so much, and I really, really, really want to know. I've been taken in. I have. So this is about a clairvoyant underground resistance in London, like a fantastical version of London. It's an urban fantasy with our main character called Paige, which I did not know, and I'm not sure if that's going to make it easier or harder to read it. It has very, very good reviews. It has bone in the title. It has a main character called Paige. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't really, really excited about this, but I was really excited about Priory of the Orange Tree too, and that let me down. But we're gonna give it a go, and I am going to break my rules and start a new series because I'm gonna give in to the hype once again. I'm gonna give this one a fair shot. I don't think what's happening with the controversy surrounding Lightlark and Alex Aster is right. Alex Aster is like a TikTok author, and this is her new book, Lightlark, and it follows an island where every certain amount of years, every 100 years, the island of Lightlark appears for only 100 days to host a deadly game, where the rulers of 6 realms fight to break their curses and win unparalleled power. Each ruler has something to hide, each curse is uniquely wicked. To break them and save themselves and their realms, one ruler must die. Since this book came out, I have never seen a book get such low reviews straight out of the gate. People are saying that Alex Aster lied about scenes that were in this book when she was promoting it. I have seen people complaining that it's not smutty, even though it's a YA fantasy book. And to be honest, I have mostly seen people reading this book to give it a chance and actually going, you know what, it's a much better book. I think this book on Goodreads has like a 2-star rating. It's probably gone up now, but when it first came out, and it really, really seemed like everyone was just jumping on an absolute hate train, and then Chloe Gong was being roped into the hate because she has quoted it and her and Alex Aster are friends. Some other authors get away with absolute criminal behaviour and no one says a word. But Alex Aster promotes her book on TikTok and it comes out, and God forbid she promote her own book. So I intend to give this a very, very fair shot. It sounds really, really good to me, and I love a good YA fantasy every now and again. I genuinely think that this has the potential to be so fun. This also has like a signed sticker in it. Is this normal? It doesn't have a signed by the author like sign. It wasn't on a signed by the author display, but it is signed and I'm very confused about that. Is it supposed to do that? Have I somehow picked this up also under the dust jacket? Like, it looks the same. It is very, very, very pretty, and I'm genuinely excited about this book, and I hope anyone watching this also decides to give this book a fair shot and not just decide that they dislike it because TikTok has decided they hate it. You know, if you have a genuine, fair, bad review and reasons for that, go ahead. I will not say anything about it, but if it's literally just because of anything to do with TikTok, go away. And then we have the most exciting book of this entire haul. We have Babel by R.F. Kuang, who, so, I have a signed edition too. Please focus. I'm so excited about this book. This is dark academia set in Oxford. It's a fantasy, I believe, about translators and I don't know, but it's R.F. Kuang and she can do no wrong, and I have seen nothing but incredible reviews of this book, and it is a stunning book. It has black sprayed edges. It's just black under the dust jacket. I believe it's going to be a series, and it is about our main character having to stand up against an empire whilst working as a translator in Oxford. I really don't know too much about it other than Oxford, dark academia, translating, and I'm just so excited. I love R.F. Kuang, okay? The Poppy War trilogy is just incredibly written. Like, she only writes good shit. So I implore you to go pick up this book and try it out. I am so excited about it. I'm gonna wait till October and it's just gonna be good vibes. This is the most exciting one of the book haul, and it's so exciting that I have nothing to say about it. So that was my book haul. I don't think I have it in me to pick up all of these books again. I mean, we can try. It's quite a few books. I've done some damage, but I will say the only other book now that I would like to buy is The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake, and other than that I genuinely don't think there's like any more books that I want to buy. Like, that is me done for a while. Pretty sure I have enough books now to cover my TBRs for the rest of the year. So if you guys enjoyed this video, it would really mean a lot to me if you guys could hit the thumbs up button and hit that big red subscribe button down below. As I said, I upload twice a week on a Wednesday and a Friday, so there is no shortage of bookish content here for you to enjoy. If you liked this, then you probably like books, and then we automatically just have big main interests in common, so maybe you could just subscribe. I hope you guys are having a fantastic week. You are enjoying everything that you are reading, and there are no reading slumps in your future, and I will see you next week for my next video. Bye guys.